As we all know, the much-awaited general elections took place on Saturday, February 25, 2023, throughout the country. As I speak, the reverberations of the elections are still being felt across the nation, with several landmark political developments which have upturned some of our long-held political assumptions. As in most parts of the country, the people of Southern Taraba Senatorial Zone, comprising Ukari, Ibi, Donga, Takum, Usa, and Yangtu development area, trooped out en masse to vote their preferred candidates for the presidential, senatorial, and House of Representatives elections, which were taking place simultaneously on that day. Reports across the zone indicated that the organization and conduct of the elections on that day was smooth, devoid of incidents that have marred previous elections in the country. I was one of the thousands of people who came out to exercise their constitutional rights on that day. My polling unit was the Kofar Gadu, located in the Aviu ward in Ukari. In my particular case, I was a candidate for the senatorial elections under the People's Redemption Party, PRP, and I was supremely hopeful that I would be able to vote. I was also hopeful that thousands of my supporters, including women, youth, and town folk across the zone, would do same. To my utter surprise and dismay, however, I discovered that the logo of my party, which is the People's Redemption Party, was not on the ballot paper of the Senate elections. Effectively, this meant that my political party and thousands of my supporters were unlawfully being excluded from participating in the Senate elections by the INEC. Upon inquiry from the officials at the unit, I was told that my party was probably among the ones that had issues with INEC, and I was further told to direct my inquiries at INEC office. I could not think of any reason why INEC could exclude my party from participating in the Senate, because all outstanding issues regarding my candidacy have been conclusively resolved between my party and INEC, which cleared the way for me to be a candidate for the senatorial elections under the PRP. When INEC released what it termed as the final list of candidates for the various elections for the various elective positions for the 2023 elections, having closed its portals, which included some of us from PRP, along with others from the political party, from other political parties, our party, that's PRP, in suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/2017/2022, sought and was granted a court order at the Federal High Court by Justice I.E. Echo on January 23rd, directing INEC to open the portal and include our names as candidates for the various elective positions in the 2023 elections. And I have a copy of that judgment to give it out to you. In obtaining the judgment, it was established that, one, INEC indeed supervised the primary elections from which I emerged as the senatorial candidate of the party for the Southern Taraba Zone. In other words, INEC was there and duly supervised my primary elections in Southern Taraba. So they had knowledge of my participating in the primaries as required by law. Secondly, going further, the inability of our party, that's after all said and done, the inability of our party to upload our names on the INEC portal at the first instance, that's after all said and done, primaries and all that, was mainly due to the technical glitches from the INEC system. That's to say that on the day that our party was trying to upload our names as required on the INEC portal, there were hitches on the INEC system, because it's a new system they're operating. And on that day, there were so many, names being uploaded, so it clogged the system, and so it was left hanging. So they couldn't upload our names into the system. And it wasn't our fault, because our people were trying by all means to do that, to comply with INEC regulations, that this is what was needed to be done. So it wasn't our fault, because the system that INEC was operating, which was for the first time, was supposed to be foolproof. There was supposed to have been some kind of due diligence done by INEC to ensure that the system worked as it should. So with this now, the judge found that according to him, and let me quote from the statement that he made, he said, "What I can deduct from the evidence in this case," that's the case involving my party and my good self and 18 others, "what I can deduct from the evidence in this case is that the failure of the first plaintiff," that's PRP, my party, "to upload the names of its candidates," that's our good selves, "on the electronic portal of the defendant," which in this case is INEC, "is not owing to any fault of the first plaintiff." That is, it's not owing to the fault of PRP. This is a statement from the presiding judge, Justice Eko. And he says, "The failure of the defendant to correct the names of the candidates of the plaintiff submitted to defendant does not show that defendant was responsive to the implementation of the electoral law." In this case, the judge was indicting INEC for not complying, or for not, showing some sensitivity to the provisions of the electoral law, which required them to do due diligence to ensure that the system was ready to receive the names of the candidates that was uploaded in its portal. So if that didn't happen, it was down to the fault of INEC, because its system did not work as it should. So, and it continues, it says, that's the judgment from I'm reading from the judgment now. It says, "This acts of the defendant," which is INEC, "means a wrong has been done to the plaintiffs." That is, INEC has done a wrong to the plaintiffs. In this case, my party, People's Redemption Party, as well as the contestants, the candidates whose names were to be uploaded to the system, the INEC system. And if this court does not intervene, then the constitutional rights of the plaintiff to take part as candidates in the 2023 elections will be denied them. As it is, a wrong has been done to the plaintiffs, and the law says where there is a wrong, there is a remedy. You could refer to the judgment, the court judgment by Justice I.E. Eko of the Federal High Court. These are his statements in the judgment. So he acknowledged that INEC was wrong, and he gave judgment against INEC for not doing its due diligence regarding the uploading of the names of the candidates that it had supervised in this party. So, my dear colleagues, as you can see from this sound judgment from an eminent jurist in a competent court of law delivered on Monday, 23rd of January, INEC was culpable of attempting to deny us of our constitutional rights, and duly ordered by the court to not only restore such right, but also to act to allow us exercise such right. So with this judgment, INEC was given the directives by Justice Eko of the Federal High Court, a court of competent jurisdiction, to upload our names without further delay, because the time was getting late for the elections, and the court further asked the INEC to do so within a 7-day period. And accordingly, as soon as that judgment was made, our party applied to INEC and submitted our names to INEC to be uploaded on its portal for the 2023 elections. And having done that, and having ensured that our names were uploaded, which was acknowledged by the INEC itself, because it's there in the INEC portal, we were now cleared to participate in the 2023 elections. So thus, with my constitutional rights restored, I plunged straight into my campaigns, which took me to all the 5 local governments of Southern Taraba. I crisscrossed all the local governments, from Yentu to Usa to Takum to Donga to Ibi to Ukari, and to rural areas, rural communities where I explained myself to them, presented myself to them, and presented my agenda to the people in accordance with my desire to be their senator. So, but to my disappointment, however, on election day, Saturday, February 25th of this month, which is just a couple of days back, INEC excluded my party, the PRP, from the ballot papers of the senatorial elections, of which I was a bona fide candidate. I will show you a copy of that, of this, which is here. You can see it for yourselves, where, you can see it for yourself, a copy of the ballot paper, which excluded PRP on that list. And this is after a court of competent jurisdiction, which is after a high court has expressly judged that our names must be on the portal of INEC, which now necessitates INEC to put our names here, to put the logo of the party to enable us participate and be, in my own case, to vote and be voted for. But on that 25th of February, our party was not there. The logo of our party was not there, and that means I, as a candidate, a bona fide qualified candidate for the senatorial elections, Southern Taraba, was not there. So I couldn't vote and be voted for. And the same thing also affected thousands of my supporters who had come to vote for me. So in one fell swoop, I was disenfranchised, my party was disenfranchised, and thousands of my supporters was disenfranchised. And that is an affront to the electoral law, which INEC is subject to. INEC itself is a creation of the law, but in this case, it acted in contempt of the law, in contempt of the electoral law, and this is actionable. And that is why this is one of the strong points to say that this election, was not conducted according to the electoral law. It was not conducted according to the, judgment that was given on Monday, 23rd of January. And that is why we have no reason. We have all the strength to call for the cancellation of this, because a justice has not been done to us. Justice has not been done to my party, it has not been done to me, and has not been done to, the thousands of our supporters. We as Nigerian citizens need to participate in these landmark elections, but we were denied by the cruel actions of INEC. So that's why one of the reasons why I'm here to say that, to call out to the whole world, to the whole of Nigeria, that INEC acted against the law, against the court, against the electoral law, in denying PRP and in denying me the right to participate in the elections for which it was directed. So for this reason, and you can even subject this to further tests. You could see also that the logo of one or two of the parties here, check it very well, you find that the names of two parties here was not properly captured here. You could subject this to, and I'm calling for this document or this paper to be subjected to forensic investigation, whether it really came from INEC. Because the names of, apart from the fact that it denied PRP its logo, it also did not capture the name of two of the political parties here. It only captured their logo, but not their names. You could see that in the names of other political parties was properly captured, but the names of two prominent political parties that participated in this just concluded elections was not captured here. So this calls to question even this document, not just on the, on the part of PRP, but also on the part of other political parties. And that's why INEC must come around and explain. And in fact, not just explain, but be censured by the people of Nigeria, by the law, for putting out for putting out this. And I want to tell you too, this is a copy of the judgment. This is a copy of the judgment by Justice I.E. Echo on the 23rd of January, which expressly directed INEC to put our names on the logo. On this list are several names of people affected under the People's Redemption Party. And my information is that some of the people here duly were duly voted for, which is to say that in the states that they were, the logo of the party appeared. They didn't have issues with the logo of the party or PRP in their states. But I am the only one who has this issue. From my information, though I need to check it, but from my information, I am the only one who has this issue whose party was not included in the senatorial elections in Taraba State, Southern Senatorial Zone. So there must be something. There is a lot about this that meets the eye, which I have no doubt whatsoever in calling for the whole exercise to be cancelled and justice done, so that we can have, what is worth doing is worth doing well. And in this case, it was not done well. So we need to have it done well. And having it done well is to cancel the entire exercise. And also, we are going to, my party and myself, we are looking at options, legal options, to take INEC to the law courts, so that we could not only get them to cancel the elections and do justice to our case, but also to pay for damages for the trouble that they have taken us through, because we were duly cleared to run for these elections, and they, INEC, in their own wisdom, which is warped, denied us that constitutional rights to do that. So that's why, gentlemen, I'm here to present this to you and to call strongly for the cancellation of this, because a wrong has been done to us, which was captured by the judge, and the judge called for remedy to be done. In this case, INEC is in contempt of not only the court judgment, but also of the electoral law. And we are doing it because we are going to have subsequent elections in the next couple of weeks. And we want to ensure that this is not repeated for our candidates in the next elections, which is taking place on sometime this month. And we have candidates across the country for state assembly across the country, who also might be affected by this action of INEC. So if it's an oversight on INEC, it's a dangerous oversight. It's an affront to democracy. And if it's a deliberate action, it still does not exonerate INEC from censure and from action against them. So, gentlemen, I am going to distribute this to you so that you can take it and look at it critically and then decide for yourself whether our action or our justice has been done to us. But I have no doubt in my mind that justice has not been done to us according to the law, according to the court judgment, according to the electoral law. So we have, we're calling on INEC, we're calling on responsible Nigerians to ensure that justice is done to our party and to ourselves. So in conclusion, I state here that as a result of the unlawful exclusion of my party logo from the ballot paper of the senatorial elections as it concerns Southern Taraba, I'm calling on INEC to immediately cancel the purported Senate elections, which took place on Saturday, February 25, and organize a fresh one with my party's logo included. That would accord me the opportunity of participating in the elections, because without my party's logo, I cannot participate in the elections. A wrong has been done to me, and the wrong has to be remedied, so that election could be said to be concluded. For now, whatever was done there in Ukari and Taraba, Southern Taraba, and whatever was declared by the INEC is null and void and is actionable. So INEC is also, as I said earlier, hereby being called upon to rectify similar anomalies, if they exist, before the coming governorship and state assembly elections. Having acted contrary to the electoral law, INEC is actionable in this instant, and I'm discussing with my lawyers on the legal options available, which may include asking for just compensation in view of the aggravated damages, including cost, trauma, and opprobrium caused to me and my party by this unlawful act of INEC. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being here. While I remain yours sincerely, Iliyasu Ibrahim Gadu, Senatorial Candidate, People's Liberation Party for Southern Taraba Zone. Thank you very much, gentlemen.